You know, everybody out here wants respect. We talk about it, we sing about it, we demand it, but here's the truth. Respect is not something you just go around asking for. Nah, respect is something you earn without even having to say a word. And let me tell you, it ain't about being the smartest person in the room or wearing the fanciest clothes. I done met broke folks who get more respect than millionaires and quiet folks who walk in a room and everybody just straightens up. Why? Because respect ain't about money, it's about presence. It's about how you carry yourself, the energy you bring, and the way you make people feel when they're around you. See, people can smell confidence before you even open your mouth. And confidence ain't arrogance, big difference. Confidence is when you know who you are, you stand on it, and you don't let nobody shake it. Then you got boundaries. Lord, let me tell you, boundaries are like putting a do not enter sign on your soul. They let people know where the line is. And when they see you stick to it, that's when they realize, okay, I can't play with this one. And don't think respect only comes from talking. No, no, no. Sometimes the most powerful move you can make is just listen. Really listen. People respect someone who can hold their tongue, hear them out, and still stand firm. And then there's consistency, showing up the same way every time. That's how trust is built. And once people trust you, they'll respect you even when you're not in the room. Now, I'm about to break down 5 secrets, straight out of psychology, that'll have people respecting you without you having to beg, shout, or prove yourself every 5 minutes. Because once you learn these, you won't be chasing respect, respect will be chasing you. Respect starts from how you carry yourself, not just what you say. See, a lot of folks think that if they just talk a certain way, or if they say the right words, people will automatically respect them. But let me tell you something. Your mouth is just the microphone. Your body is the message. People read you before they hear you. Before a word leaves your lips, they've already made a decision about you based on how you walked in the room, how you looked around, how you stood, and even how you made eye contact. And I'm not talking about wearing designer clothes or walking in with some Hollywood pose. I'm talking about the way you hold yourself like you mean business, like you're comfortable in your own skin, like you know you belong wherever you are. You ever see somebody walk into a meeting, a party, or even just down the street, and without saying a single word, everybody turns to look? That's not magic. That's presence. And presence comes from how you carry yourself. It's in the way you stand up straight, the way your shoulders are back, the way you take your time moving, because you're not rushing to please anybody. You're not shrinking yourself down to take up less space. You're letting the world know, I'm here, and I deserve to be here. And here's the thing. This ain't about acting like you're better than anybody else. It's about believing you're just as valuable as anybody else. That belief shows up in your body language before it ever makes it to your words. If you slouch, keep your head down, avoid eye contact, or keep fidgeting with your hands, you're telling the world you're unsure of yourself. You might not mean to, but people pick up on that instantly. The mind works fast. It makes snap judgments in seconds. And once someone's got that first impression of you, it's hard to change it. So you got to set the tone from the jump. When you walk in a room, take a second, look around like you're scanning your kingdom. Plant your feet like you own your space, and make eye contact with people like you see them, and you expect to be seen back. That's respect in motion. I'll give you an example. I knew this one brother who didn't have a lot of money, didn't have a flashy job, nothing like that. But when he came around, you would have thought he was a CEO. He stood tall, looked people dead in the eye, spoke with a steady voice, and never apologized for taking up space. And the funny thing is, because he carried himself like that, people treated him like somebody important. They'd ask his opinion, they'd want him in their conversations, they'd listen when he spoke. He didn't have to shout, brag, or beg for attention. It just came to him. That's the power of how you carry yourself. And here's the part that people miss. It's not just about physical posture. It's about emotional posture too. If you walk in with your spirit sagging, with bitterness or insecurity leaking out of you, people can feel that. But if you walk in with gratitude, confidence, and an openness to connect, people can feel that too. Respect is like a mirror. Most times, people reflect back the energy you give them. Carry yourself like someone worth respecting, and you'll be surprised how quickly the world starts treating you that way. Another thing, watch your tone. The way you say something can either demand respect or lose it in a heartbeat. If you're mumbling, talking too fast, or shrinking your voice, it sounds like you don't even believe in your own words. Slow down. Speak clearly. Pause when you need to. Don't fill every silence with nervous chatter. Silence, when you own it, is powerful. It makes people lean in to hear you. And here's a trick. Before you start talking, take a breath and plant your feet. That little pause says, I'm not in a rush to prove myself. You can wait for me. That's a sign of self-respect, and people notice it. You also got to remember that carrying yourself with respect means not over-explaining yourself to people. Some folks feel like they got to justify every move, explain every decision, or apologize for every little thing. Stop that. When you know who you are and where you stand, you don't need to hand out a report card to everybody. A simple, confident statement is enough. Respect grows when you trust your own judgment. And yes, carrying yourself well means holding your boundaries too. If somebody crosses the line, you address it without blowing up, without losing your cool. That's the difference between someone people fear and someone people respect. Fear fades. Respect lasts. And people will test you. They'll see if you mean what you say about how you expect to be treated. If you stay calm, stand your ground, and handle yourself without letting your emotions run wild, you send a powerful message. I'm in control of me, and I'm not letting you shake that. The truth is, the way you carry yourself is the very first step to respect. You can't talk your way into it if your presence doesn't back it up. You could have the most inspiring words in the world, but if your body is telling a different story, people will believe your body over your words every single time. The mind reads what the eyes see before it hears what the ears hear. That's just how we're wired. So every day, before you even think about what you're going to say, think about how you're going to be. Stand tall. Look people in the eye. Move with purpose. Speak with intention. Protect your space and your energy. That's the foundation. Because once you learn to carry yourself with respect, you won't have to go around demanding it. It'll just show up wherever you go. People respond to confidence more than perfection. You ever notice how some folks can mess up, make a mistake, or not even have all the right answers, yet people still follow them, still listen to them, still treat them like they know what they're doing? That's because confidence speaks louder than perfection ever could. See, perfection is this shiny, fake picture we all think we need to paint for the world. But confidence is raw, it's real. Confidence says, I might not be flawless, but I believe in me, and that's enough. And when you believe in yourself, other people pick up on it. The thing about perfection is it's a trap. If you're waiting until you're perfect before you speak up, before you try, before you put yourself out there, you'll be waiting your whole life. People don't connect with perfect, they connect with real. And real means you show up as you are, you give what you've got, and you don't shrink back when you're not at 100%. I've seen folks stumble over their words during a speech, but still get a standing ovation because the confidence in their delivery was unshaken. They didn't apologize. They didn't act embarrassed. They just kept going like it was all part of the plan. Confidence is like a magnet. It draws people in not because they think you'll never fail, but because they see you don't crumble when you do. And here's the truth. Confidence is not loud. It's not about walking into a room and trying to be the biggest personality in there. Confidence can be quiet. It can be the way you sit back, observe, and then drop your words like a hammer when it's time to speak. It can be the way you handle a tough question with. I don't know that answer yet, but I'll find out instead of panicking or pretending. People respect that. And let me tell you something, confidence is not arrogance. Arrogance says, I'm better than you. Confidence says, I'm secure in me. That's a big difference. Arrogance will turn people off real quick, but confidence makes people feel safe around you. It makes them trust your judgment. It makes them believe you can handle yourself, and maybe even handle them if needed. Now, confidence doesn't just show up one day and stick around. It's built, and it's built in the small moments. Every time you speak up when you'd rather stay quiet, every time you try something new, even though you're nervous, every time you look someone in the eye when you're telling them your truth, you're stacking bricks on your confidence wall. And over time, that wall gets so solid that nobody can knock it down with one bad comment or one little failure. I've met people with every reason to doubt themselves. Maybe they didn't have the education. Maybe they came from nothing. Maybe life had knocked them around more times than they could count. But because they chose to believe in themselves anyway, they moved through life like they belonged everywhere they went. And people believed it. That's the crazy thing. Confidence is contagious. If you believe you belong, the people around you will start to believe it too. And I know some folks think confidence means never showing weakness, but that's not true. Real confidence is being okay with showing you're human. It's saying, yeah, I made a mistake, but it doesn't define me. It's admitting you're nervous and still walking forward. It's knowing you're not perfect and still stepping up like you have something valuable to offer, because you do. And that, right there, is what makes people respect you. You don't need to have the best suit, the perfect speech, or the perfect plan. What you need is to believe in yourself so much that even when things go wrong, you don't fold. Because here's the reality. People aren't watching to see if you're perfect. They're watching to see how you handle not being perfect. And if you can stand tall, keep your voice steady, and move forward with grace when things don't go your way, people will remember that longer than they remember any mistake you made. Confidence also frees you from needing constant approval. When you're chasing perfection, you're chasing everybody else's validation. When you have confidence, you're not out here begging for people to tell you you're good enough. You already know, and that's powerful. Because the moment you stop needing everyone's approval, that's when you start commanding respect. People can feel it when you're secure in yourself, and it makes them more likely to listen to you, follow you, and trust you. Here's something I've learned. Confidence is not just built in winning moments. Sometimes it's built in private. In the quiet times when nobody's clapping for you, when you're the only one cheering yourself on. It's in those mornings you get up and try again after failing yesterday. It's in those moments you don't let fear decide for you. You start to stack up these little victories inside yourself, and one day you look up and realize you're not pretending to be confident anymore. You actually are. And when you bring that kind of energy into the world, people can't help but respond to it. They might not agree with everything you say. They might not even like you at first, but they'll respect you. Because confidence tells the world, I'm not here to be perfect. I'm here to be me, and I'm here to stay. And that's something no amount of perfection can replace. Boundaries tell the world how to treat you. Let me tell you something a lot of people don't want to hear. People will treat you exactly how you allow them to. It's not always about what they think of you. It's about what you let slide, what you tolerate, and what you're willing to speak up about. Boundaries are like invisible fences. They don't have to be loud or aggressive, but they make it crystal clear where the line is and what's going to happen if someone crosses it. Without them, you leave the door wide open for people to walk all over you. The problem is, too many folks think setting boundaries is about being mean or pushing people away. It's not. It's about protecting your energy, your time, and your self-respect. Because here's the truth. If you don't protect those things, nobody else is going to do it for you. And when you let people constantly take from you, constantly disrespect your time, constantly push past your limits without speaking up, you're teaching them that it's okay. And once you've taught someone that, it's hard to unteach it. I remember talking to a friend who was always complaining about how nobody respected her at work. She was staying late every night, fixing other people's mistakes, taking on extra projects that weren't hers, and never saying no. She thought she was being helpful, thought she was proving herself. But what she was really doing was telling everyone around her, I'm the one who will pick up the slack. I'm the one you can dump extra work on. And sure enough, that's exactly how they treated her. It wasn't until she started saying, no, that's not my responsibility, or I can't take that on right now, that things started to change. And you know what? The people who got mad about it, those were the ones who had been benefiting from her lack of boundaries in the first place. Boundaries are also about the way people talk to you. If someone constantly speaks to you in a way that's disrespectful and you just laugh it off, you're silently saying, this is fine. But the first time you calmly but firmly say, don't talk to me like that, you shift the dynamic. You let them know you're not someone they can speak to any kind of way. And no, you don't have to scream or get in their face. Sometimes the most powerful boundary is set with a calm voice and a steady gaze. And don't get it twisted. Setting boundaries isn't just for the people who are obviously toxic. Even good people will push past your limits if you let them. Not always out of malice, sometimes just out of habit or convenience. But your job is to know where your lines are and hold them, no matter who's in front of you. That's self-respect in action. A big reason people don't set boundaries is fear. Fear of losing someone. Fear of being seen as difficult. Fear of confrontation. But here's the thing. Every time you avoid setting a boundary to keep someone else comfortable, you make yourself uncomfortable instead. You sacrifice your peace so they can have theirs. And over time, that builds resentment. You start feeling taken for granted, undervalued, maybe even invisible. And that's exactly when respect starts to fade, not just from them toward you, but from you toward yourself. And let me tell you, boundaries aren't just about saying no. They're also about saying yes to the right things. You can't be respected if you're stretched so thin you're always tired, frustrated, or overwhelmed. You have to create space in your life for the things that matter to you. Boundaries protect that space. They make sure you're giving your best to the people and projects that truly deserve it. Sometimes the hardest boundaries to set are with family or close friends. Those are the people who might say, come on, it's just me, or you know I don't mean anything by it. But boundaries are about behavior, not about love. You can love someone deeply and still say, that's not okay. You can care about someone and still not let them drain you. In fact, boundaries often make relationships healthier because they take away the silent resentment that builds up when you let things slide too many times. When you start setting boundaries, you'll notice something interesting. Some people will respect you more for it. They might not like it at first, but over time they'll realize you're someone who values yourself, and that makes them value you too. Others will fall away because they were only around for what they could take from you. And as much as that might hurt, it's actually a blessing. Boundaries are like a filter. They show you who's really in your corner and who's just using you for convenience. Now, here's the part a lot of people forget. Boundaries are not about controlling other people. You can't make someone act right just because you told them where your line is. Boundaries are about controlling yourself. They're about deciding what you will and won't participate in, what you will and won't tolerate, and then following through. If someone crosses your boundary, you can't just threaten them with consequences. You have to actually enforce them. Otherwise, your words are just noise. The more consistent you are with your boundaries, the more natural it becomes. At first, it might feel awkward. You might second-guess yourself, wonder if you're being too harsh. But every time you hold the line, you're telling yourself and the world, I matter. My time matters. My peace matters. And that's when people start to notice. That's when respect starts to grow. Because when you respect yourself enough to protect your own limits, you teach everybody else to do the same. Listening is more powerful than talking when it comes to influence. Most people think respect comes from being the one who always has something to say, always dominating the conversation, always making their presence felt through words. But the truth is, some of the most respected people in the world don't speak first, and sometimes they don't speak much at all. They listen. They pay attention in a way that makes the other person feel seen, heard, and valued. And let me tell you, when you make people feel like that, They will respect you more than if you'd spent the whole time trying to impress them with your own stories. Listening isn't just about staying quiet while someone else talks. Anybody can do that. Real listening is active. It's leaning in. It's looking someone in the eye, nodding, asking questions, picking up on the things they're not saying out loud. It's remembering details they told you before and bringing them up later so they know you actually cared enough to keep it in your mind. That's a skill, and not a lot of people have it anymore because we're so busy waiting for our turn to talk. The thing about listening is it builds trust faster than almost anything else. When people feel like you truly understand them, they start opening up more. They start sharing ideas, giving you insights, telling you things they wouldn't tell just anybody. That's influence, and it all starts with shutting your mouth long enough to hear them. And it's not just about getting information. It's about making people feel important. Human beings craft.